I would say another big cultural difference is people don't talk about ages. So when you first meet somebody, they're not going to ask you what your age is. Most people don't care, and some people have been friends with people for years and don't even know what their friend's age is because it's just not relevant to our relationships.
So how old are you? Sorry. 안녕하세요. 저희는 이번에 웨스트 동문회 임원진 10기를 맡게 된 전 이경준,
이태훈,
백지원입니다.
오늘 저희가 이제 한국과 미국의 문화 차이를 설명하기 위해서 페리스 양을 모셨는데
Hi, my name is Paris, and I'm an English teacher here in Korea. Nice to meet you.
이제 한국과 미국의 문화 차이에 대한 질문을 해보려고 해요.
I understand that you've been here in Korea for quite a while. So, are there going to be like one or two cultural differences that actually stand out the most while you're here?
My first time coming to Korea, the first thing that I noticed was kind of the drinking culture here in Korea, because in the South people do drink quite a bit, but usually it's, if it is at a bar, that we don't have the same kind of drinking games or kind of just the interactions you have with people are very different when it comes to those situations. And I would say a second cultural difference would be that, here in Korea, you don't hold the door open for someone. They're behind you.
How about like a good part of Korea?
Good part of
Yeah.
Korea.
You noticed?
나는
Nothing? There might be something at least one.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I really love the dining culture here in
Oh,
Korea and how everybody's the way dining culture is. It's I would say apart. Like in America, if it's with your family, it's very close and things like that. But here, even if you're dining with friends or coworkers, there's definitely closer relationships, and you can interact with each other in a friendlier way than we typically do in America when it comes to dining with friends or coworkers.
So, and since you mentioned the drinking game, have you learned any drinking game in Korea by any chance?
When I was in college, I think I learned one, but I kind of forgot. I'm not a big drinker myself, so if I did go out, it was just because I was socially with my friends, and
Right.
they were kind of drinking, and I was with them.
Yeah.
So,
then what do Americans do in bars?
and bars, usually there's a football game playing or a baseball game playing, and typically people are watching that, talking about the sports or talking about other things, kind of just different social conversations. And there's usually peanuts, nuts, those kind of things that we're snacking on while we're talking and that kind of thing.
Oh, and I heard that it depends on the states though, but you guys don't sell drinkings like after 2 a.m. Is that true?
It probably does depend on the state. I know where I come from, there's kind of a saying we have that's that the sidewalk rolls up at about 8 p.m. So pretty much everything's closed at 8. So if you want to go out to eat, if you want to go to a bar, you're going to have to either do it before 8 or kind of leave to go to the city to have that kind of experience. So I think if you go to California or New York, kind of big cities, it's going to be different probably.
Yeah, cause the place I lived in, where's Arizona, it's illegal to sell buy or sell alcohols after 2 a.m.
Oh yeah, I had no idea.
Moving on, in terms of cultural differences, would there be any significant cultural points that new Westies, the people that participate in our internship program, would be great if they knew about when they head out?
I would say this is not necessarily a cultural difference. I don't know if it would be, but depending on the location you're in, it's going to be impossible to get around if you don't have a car. You're going to have a car. Most places don't have any reliable public transportation, and if they do, it's not reliable. So you really need a car.
So, are there any cultural points, or any people's relationship kind of points that actually stand out? The positive aspects of relationships and other points that stand out when you are living, when you're living in Korea.
So in terms of what, just general living, or
In relationships or reputation or any other things actually?
I think one good thing, especially, I'm sure Westies are going to experience this, but like college students in America, typically are not going to be able to have the same kind of conversations you can kind of have with professors here. It's a much more comfortable experience. I noticed when I was in school that I can kind of approach my professor and kind of have any kind of conversation. So that was really comfortable for me. In the States, it's a bit more intimidating to kind of have those kinds of conversations with your professor. And also, I would say another big cultural difference is people don't talk about ages. So when you first meet somebody, they're not going to ask you what your age is. Most people don't care. And some people have been friends with people for years and don't even know what their friend's age is because it's just not relevant to our relationships. Because even though English does have formal aspects to it, we typically only use it in formal situations or with people who are like like in a business above you. But when it comes to like just talking to people generally, we typically talk pretty informally. So things like age don't really take place in our conversation.
So how old are you? And actually, I would like to ask you, why did you come to Korea?
Yeah, so the first time I came to Korea was around 2018, and that was because it was required for my degree. I couldn't graduate if I didn't come. So I studied here for about 2 years on and off, and then I went back to graduate, and then I came back after entering corporate America for a little while. I didn't enjoy it because I just really enjoyed living here in Korea, and so I came back, and teaching is my passion. So it was kind of a natural decision for me. I love Korea and I love teaching, so I just came back.
So we're still going on the cultural differences part, but staying in Korea, there are going to be compliments that you can only hear in Korea specifically. I like how small your head is. that is one of the examples of them. And I want to hear your opinions and those kind of compliments that you can only hear in Korea. What are your initial thoughts about those, and what would other people kind of think about those kind of compliments?
Yeah, so when I first came to Korea, I did get that compliment that my face was small, and people had said that before. And my classmates when I was in college said that, like, oh, I'm so jealous, your face is small. I did do a little bit of research before I came to Korea, so I wasn't like completely put off by it, but it was still surprising because I don't think my face is small. So I went back home and talked to my friends about it. They were confused, like, what does that mean? What does it mean?
Like they don't take it as a compliment.
No, it's not a compliment because American people are like, what do you mean? My face is too small? My eyes are too close together? My nose is too small? Like, so we don't really have those kind of compliments.
Could you recommend us what we should eat if we go to America, right? Hangover food or something like that?
I think America's hangover food is pizza.
Like, well, that's too greasy.
American people love greasy food.
Oh, okay.
Because I am from the South, we literally fry everything. If you go to the state fair, there's boiled peanuts, fried Oreos, fried ice cream, tomatoes, pickles. Everything is fried. So any type of hangover food is going to be greasy. But I would suggest if you want to experience really good food, probably like really good traditional chicken noodle soup is really good.
So have you found like any favorite go-to places in Korea, especially like even compared to America? Is like your favorite restaurants?
I don't think I have a favorite restaurant, but when it comes to food, I'm in love with jjajangmyeon. Or I really love my other favorite food would probably be like kimchi jjigae. So those are like staple foods that I order every
So
time.
like
So the Westie candidates have to write English resumes and maybe English cover letters when they apply for the companies that they want to go to for their internships later in the interview phase. So would there be one or two tips in writing down resumes or cover letters based on your experiences?
So your resume, I think a lot of people I don't know about Korean resumes, but a lot of people, a lot of young people in America make the mistake of talking themselves up on their resume, but if somebody sees that, they're just gonna throw your resume away, right? So you need to put your skills up top, list all of your skills. So immediately they know, they don't really care what school you went to, they don't really care what your GPA was, they don't care what you graduated. It's what can you provide, and immediately looking at this, is this gonna be a waste of my time to read this?
So the most important things on top.
Right, so, all of your skills should be up top, and then just give like a very brief, everything needs to be in bullet points, right? So you need to have your job title, obviously in bold letters, and then just a bullet point of your duties, and then, of course you can put your school, but don't put things like your graduation year, especially because if you put your graduation year, somebody's going to think that you're less capable, because you've just gotten out of school. So, so even though age isn't a big issue, when it comes to experience and schooling, that is a big issue. So, while you might be very capable, let's say you graduated last year, the hiring manager is not going to see you as capable if you put, oh, I graduated last year.
여기까지 인터뷰 진행해볼게요.